What can someone do when they can't buy assets? That's the real question.
Everybody that can save $10 can buy an asset. People don't understand them.
And do that over time so it compounds?
Correct. There's the famous story of the janitor who died with like $2 million to his name because he just invested in like the S&P 500. Just take any amount that you can possibly bear and put it into the S&P 500. Just as a super dumb way, over 20 or 30 years, that's going to stack. I don't know that there's ever been a 30-year stretch in the last like 120 years where you wouldn't have been up. Almost no one on a long enough timeline beats the S&P 500. It's just put your money in and chill. The problem is people want the money right now.
Got it. And to get that $10 to put in, build your skills so that you can
go to
make
work,
money.
get a job, and spend less than you make, and then take some of that delta and put it into an investment. I'm not saying that it's easy. You're going to have to tighten your belt. I'm just saying, as broken as the system is, when you start saying things like, well, what about the people that can't afford to put money into the system? It's like, there are people that can't for sure, but most of them are going to have gotten themselves in over their head in some way. Drugs, kids way too early. Yeah, although you now for sure could, but I get it. And even that, like most people will be able to overcome that. But I'm just saying that one I get, it's very taxing, especially if you're a single parent. So there are ways to do it, but most of those ways are pretty avoidable for all but a small number of people. Mental illness is devastating and I don't wish it on anybody. Quite literally, mental illness, I don't wish on anybody. There are some things that I say I don't wish on people, but secretly I've got a handful of people I'm wishing it on them, but not mental illness.
What is the best hard skill you think that makes you money by providing services or getting a job that has a lot of room for growth? I have a degree in economics and finance.
The only thing that matters in life is the ability to map cause and effect accurately, have the discipline to act upon it, and point those abilities at something that people will pay you to do. That is the string of life. Much like investments, I lost most people in the first couple of words, and so they won't do it. But that really is it. Like when you can anticipate the outcome of your actions, ooh, buddy, like you're really doing something. And then if you can go into a workplace, even if you don't want to run the company, if you can go into a workplace and say, I see a thing you don't see about why you're not making as much money as you could, and I'm going to show you how to do that. And then when they do that, it actually works. That person is going to make money for all time. The problem is, that's an intellectual game, meaning you actually have to have the intellectual horsepower. And a big problem that we have is a lot of people, I mean, you just take a Bell distribution, whatever, 49% of the world is going to be below average. At some point, as you slide down that scale, they're just not going to be able to run that at a meaningful level. And so you have problems. And that's why I'm saying the things that humans do intuitively, you have to make accessible. That is how you have a thriving middle class. Like where I grew up, admittedly, we were probably lower middle class, but nonetheless, I grew up around farmers, pipe fitters, blue collar workers, bus drivers, mechanics. That was my neighborhood. But we had a neighborhood and we had houses and they weren't fancy, but they were fucking houses. It's like everybody understood that, do that. And when you do that, now it's like, cool. I've got the thing that goes up in value with inflation.
BlackRock didn't own houses back then, though.
Yeah, correct. So this is I don't know, that feels like a gotcha for you.
No, I'm trolling.
But hold on. So on that, I love that. So now you want to talk about regulations that make sense. Cool. Don't try to mandate that like you're lower income, so we're going to give you loans that we otherwise shouldn't give you. That's bound to end in disaster. What you do is say, we don't let corporations buy single family homes in excess of whatever number. We don't overregulate builders so that they can make houses, so that the cost to make a house goes down. When the cost to make a house goes down, the cost to buy a house goes down. Doing things like that. Remember, I'm not a no government guy. I like me a very intelligent regulation that is designed to build a system that has less holes. What I'm not here for is the authoritarian policing of the holes that exist in the system.
The government's job should be to keep the rules of the game fair and ensure competition is working. A lot of what we're dealing with now just feels like monopolies dominating the system.
Yes, he's certainly right on the first part. How much of this is Drew's beef. Your broken system has created so many perverse capitalists. It's not the right word, but it'll do as a stand-in.
AT&T and Spectrum. I know
Yeah.
this is a
No,
personal
trust me,
example.
I was thinking about that.
This is a personal example. You can't start new internet companies. Google tried it. They went to 6 different
Yeah, you
markets.
can.
They got shut down.
Starlink. My thing is just impatience.
Satellite different than like fiber.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. Like the weight
There's a technological disadvantage from satellites to fiber.
for today. But
Oh,
like
I mean, okay.
if he makes enough money, he'll keep innovating. There's no way to regulate out of existence that some things are going to be very hard to do. But the exact thing you want to do is fill the void. You want to come into that space where there is no solution and go, I'm going to do that really hard thing. That's what you want to incentivize the system. You do not want to try to underhand pitch for people. That's not real life. You want to say, hey, if you can learn how to hit this fastball, great. It's going to be better for all of us.
Yes, the point I'm making specifically for AT&T Spectrum like that is that satellite companies, internet companies, are technologically disadvantaged because satellite, the range, the things like that, it's slower bandwidth than hard lines, fiber, copper, things like that.
Well, the speed of light is so fast, I don't know if you're going to notice, which is certainly what Elon is saying.
There's definitely a cap between, as it stands right now, the technology that physically exists. Satellite companies, they're at one point they're getting an average of like 25 megabytes versus when Spectrum,
But it's going up.
So we'll wait for it to get there. But
Give me your argument in a single sentence because I'm confused.
there would be more internet companies in local communities that are hardwired if governments didn't stop new incoming ISPs to try to compete.
I love it. Less regulation. Yay! Ipso facto.
I was trying to set you up with the Spectrum thing to say that that's an example of.
It is super annoying, and I'm totally on board with less regulation.
Billionaires, megacorps, lobbyists, etc., all skewing governments. All of that gets better with smaller scale. Debt is a symptom of capitalism at scale. Should we consider debt the lethal symptom of aggregating too much?
No, debt is the symptom of fiat money. You keep it in check when it's a hard currency and there's just no more money to lend you. And so now people start to be like, who am I actually going to give this loan to? When you have fiat money, you have bailouts. When you have bailouts, you have the robbing of the poor middle class and giving to the rich. All of the problems that we see map one for one with a debt money printing system. Everything else, as far as I can tell, is just downstream of that. Downstream of that, and man is political animal.
Tom, please clip that entire section about $10 compounding so I can send it to my friends. So many people can't seem to comprehend that concept.
Dan, I feel your pain. It's people don't have an intuition for the stock market. They don't have an intuition for compounding interest, and it's just boring. And so the idea of giving $10 every paycheck to something that's boring and way out in the future. They did the marshmallow experiment back in the 60s or 70s, and they ended up tracking those kids for like 30 years. And the kids that could wait the longest to get the reward of the second marshmallow, they ended up doing better in life. I forget who came up with it originally, but I heard this from Alex Hormozy, that there are 3 things that make for hyper successful people. Number 1 is a delusional belief in yourself that you can pull it off. Number 2 is a crushing fear that you're inadequate. And number 3 is the ability to delay gratification. If you can like suffer for something that's way out in the future, you're going to murder. And most people can't do that.
There's that book, Everyday Millionaire, that there's a large swath of people who just invest every day, close your eyes for 30 years, and then wake up and you're good. But it's the 30-year part that people don't want to close their eyes and wait.
Correct. It's way more fun to get rich fast. I get it, but good luck.